Hey, we are this year's IDEAS Rainwater Catchment Team. And what IDEAS is, it's an interdisciplinary internship that pairs students up with professionals in the community to implement student service learning projects. Our team this year has been working on implementing and promoting decentralized water systems in the Santa Cruz community. And what a decentralized water system is, it's a system that captures and uses water on site. And we're implementing this type of systems with using rainwater catchment and low impact development on a couple different sites in the Santa Cruz community.
For the last 5 years, the IDEAS team has been working with Natural Bridges High School to help retrofit an existing rainwater catchment system there. And this year we were able to help implement it and collect rainwater for them to use in their educational garden.
Sustainability to me is something that lasts for a long period of time without running out and not hurting the environment. So like the rainwater catchment system would be sustainable because we're not letting the water that comes out of the clouds to just evaporate, and we're going to be able to use it over and over again.
They're using it for their garden. They've got a really nice garden there with I think about 30-some beds, a bunch of trees. And they wanted to be, not be using city water to water their stuff, and they wanted to catch it all. And I think it's a great step. I mean, they got nice big tanks there, and it'll be really interesting to see how long the tanks will last them throughout the summer, especially on these dry years. And then once you teach the kids about rainwater harvesting and they see that as more of a mainstream thing, then as they grow and move into society, they will expect that and hopefully push for it in the future.
Currently, we're working at Bayview Elementary School to design low-impact development rainwater catchment systems. These systems will help irrigate the school's garden and address flooding issues on the playground. This will help educate students of all ages on sustainable rainwater management.
Bayview is the first proposed site for this type of thing. We do spend a fair amount of effort trying to minimize our water usage and be more effective with our landscaping, making it drought tolerant. But this is actually the first site where we've really dove in and mostly part of a grant program, but to try to create a model that we can then roll out to other sites. So this is really the starting point.
So Bayview Elementary School is an interesting site because there are several ways in which low-impact development actually helped the school. So low-impact development is a development technique that uses different tools and methods to reduce the amount of runoff that comes off a particular site by reducing the impervious area and promoting infiltration into the ground. There are several ways in which low-impact development actually helped the school. First, the school has some flooding issues. When it rains pretty hard, there's so much pavement at the school that there's a lot of runoff that builds up into their playground, picks up mulch that then clogs their drains and causes some pretty major flooding.
Right now we have a number of what they call life labs, which is where this project kind of evolves around, where the kids get exposure to growing plants, vegetables, that type of thing in contained areas. They meter their water use, the way they take care of and fertilize and nurture their plants is part of that educational program and that whole life cycle thing. Water is an integral part of that. Hopefully this program we'll be able to take some ideas from it specifically and implement it at some of these other places. Have more exposure to the students and of course hopefully that's the pebble in the pond and that ripple goes out forever.
One of the many goals of Life Lab and of all of our science programs is we're trying to teach our kids how to live more sustainably. They're going to have to. Water usage is going to be the next big problem all around the world, but certainly in California. And we're already trying to teach them to think about water as a precious resource instead of something that just comes out of the tap magically. To have a school where they see those systems in place, so they see how it's used, so that it becomes a normal thing for them, just like it's now a normal thing for them to put their paper in the recycling as opposed to all of it in the garbage. It's just training people to think about the world in a different way than the way I was raised or you were raised. Having that system in place in their school shows them that this is something that we think is important. Having that system in place in their school means that we can actually show them how it works. I think it inspires the kids to, if they go off to build their own house or they are going to go buy a house or whatever, to start thinking about, is there a system in place? Could I put one in place? And even going home to their own houses now and saying, hey, why don't we put in a gray water system, or why don't we put in a catchment system, or even why don't we put one rain barrel and a downspout for our garden. So even those little small changes can sometimes be big.
Lastly, we have a small-scale pilot project at the UCSC Wellness Center. This rainwater catchment system serves as the primary water source for toilets at this site. This prototype will be used for future applications at UCSC.
The rain tank system that is adjacent to the Wellness Center, which is on a concrete slab, it's about a 2,600 gallon tank that we've calculated will serve to flush about 80% of the amount of toilet flushing that would need to happen during the year there at the Wellness Center. The process has been to meet with the IDEAS team, to discuss with experts in the field, mechanical engineers, and myself as a landscape architect and a specialist in rainwater harvesting, and then doing design work, getting it on paper, giving it to licensed contractors to bid and then install, and currently it is under construction, and we're looking to save many gallons of water, probably tens of thousands of gallons of water off the roof of the Wellness Center, which would have gone to drainage and non-use.
The environmental benefits of rainwater harvesting is using a non-potable water to flush toilets. You decrease the energy that you're using or consuming to produce potable water, as well as the energy used to pump the water to the location where the toilets are being flushed. The other environmental benefit that we've discovered is the fact that we're capturing rainwater on foggy days. We're capturing a significant amount of water, so we're filling the tank even when it's not raining. So the IDEAS team participating in this project was probably one of the most exciting parts of the project. They've been involved from not just the design, but through the contracting phase. They've come out to do inspections. It's been really exciting to have them on board.
So let's do our part as Californians
And be smart
about the water that falls from our sky.